तेच
आणि काउंसलर सगळे एक झाला फुलं झाला बाईक ग्रुप फोटो घेणार आहे माहिती त्या बाकी सगळं फुलं झाला काउंसलर सगळे मेंबर काउंसलर आम्ही हांगा जमल्या आमचे ग्रेट लिडर महान नेतो ताका गुरुनाथ सदीप फिडंबड म्हणटालो ताळमाड आशिल्लो मनीस तो त्या वेळार पुर्तुगीज टायमार सुद्दां ज्या मनशान इतलें काम केल्लें आसा हार्डली 40 वर्सां जगलो पण पुर्तुगीज पार्लमेंटाक गेलो इज अ ग्रेट सर्जन रायटर वॉरंटर आनी नाना तरी हें आशिल्ली 40 वर्सां जगून इतलें काम केलें आनी जर आयज म्हळ्यार खूब करपाचो आमचो एकूच त्रास आसा मडगांवकार जो आसा ताका आमी याद करपाक जमल्या 196 बर्थ एनिवर्सरी आमचे मदीं जशें आमी रेजिन सांगलां आमचे कलेक्टर आसा हिंगा एसपी आसा कमसिंग आमचे मडगांवचे माजी मुख्यमंत्री आनी मडगांवचे लाडके आमदार हिम्मत अहमद आमचे चेअरपर्सन बाब दामू नायक दामू शेवडकर थोरी आमची VCB बबिता नायक आमचे काउन्सिलर नावळ आसा वारक आसा राजू आसा आनी म्हजे मेंबर रजनी आसा मोटेकार आसा मंगेश नायक आसा आनी ग्रेट मनीस म्हणटा आमचे मदीं बाब फ्रिडम फायटर वसंत बाब नायक आसा जेणी वयाची 87 वर्सां कंप्लीट केल्या आनी सगळे याद करून खूब खुशी भोगता तुमकां सगळ्यांक वेलकम करता प्रेस मिडिया ह्या टायमार सुद्दां 9 म्हणल्यार पावली तांकां मनांतल्यान देव बरें म्हणटा आनी ज्या तळमळीन ज्या मनशान जें कार्य केलां ताका भेटपाक जावं तेजे एनिवर्सरीक आमी मनोवपाक जमल्या तांकां सगळ्या मनांतल्यान हांव अभिनंदन करता आनी सगळ्यांक देव बरें करून दिता
गोंयचो थोर सुपुत्र फ्रांसीस लुईस गॉमेज तो नावेलीच्या गांवांत जल्माक आयलो आयचे दीस 196 वर्सां जाली ताची जयंती आमी मनोवपाक आमी जमली आसा त्या कार्यक्रमाक आमचे बरोबर आसा कलेक्टर सावथ गोवा SP सावथ गोवा नगराध्यक्ष दामोदर सुरेकर उपनगराध्यक्ष बबिता आमचे काउन्सिलर वारक शिवाजी बाब राजू 18 जून समितीचो अध्यक्ष माजी काउन्सिलर बाब अविनाश शिरोडकर रजनी आणि बाकीचे सगळे हांगा जमिल्ले आनी सगळ्यांत म्हत्वाचें म्हणजे खास कार्यक्रमाक हजर जाला ज्येश्ठ स्वातंत्र्य सैनीक आसाच कमी तातूंतय सगळ्यांत ज्येश्ठ स्वातंत्र्य सैनीक बाब वसंत नायक हो आज ह्या कार्यक्रमाक हजर जालो आमी ताजें हांव स्वागत करता फ्रांसीस लुईस गॉमेज हो 1829 वर्सा नावेलीच्या गांवांत जल्माक आयलो मेडिकल हातूंत भितर ताणें शिक्षण घेतलें चीफ सर्जन जालो तो पूण तो आपले वेवसायीक हातूंत पडलो ना ताणें जें काम केलें तो पार्लमेंटाचेर म्हाका दिसता 28 काय 29 वर्सांचेर तो निवडून पार्लमेंटाक पुर्तुगाला गेलो आनी पार्लमेंटाक वचून ताणें गोंयच्या स्वातंत्र्या खातीर थंय आवाज उठयलो हें म्हत्वाचें ताका लायफ चड मेळूना ताजें जर वाचत पुस्तक जाल्यार तुमच्या लक्षांत येतलें की डायड एट द एज ऑफ 40 वर्सांचेर तो पेड्ड्यार जालो लायफ ताका स्पॅन व्हडलें मेळना पूण ताच्या त्या शॉर्ट कारकिर्दी भितर ताणें आपल्यालें देशप्रेम ह्या राज्या बद्दल आशिल्लें ताचें प्रेम गोंय स्वतंत्र जावपाक जाय गोंयकारांक स्वतंत्र मेळपाक जाय हाच्या खातीर उठयल्लो आवाज इन पार्लमेंट हें अत्यंत म्हत्वाचें नोंद करपा सारकें आसा आनी म्हणून सदांच आमी ताचो कार्यक्रम हांगा करता हांगा ताचो स्टॅच्यू आसा ताचो कार्यक्रम आमी हांगा इतलीं वर्सां जालीं हांगा करता म्हाका याद आसता एकदां ट्रक मारून हो स्टॅच्यू मोडून उडयल्लो तेन्ना सुद्दां बाब गुरुनाथ केळेकार बी सगळे ते स्वातंत्र्य सैनीक फाटल्यान लागले आनी एक नवो स्टॅच्यू हाडून हांगा आमी तेन्ना बसयलो आनी हे कार्यक्रम आमी सदांच हांगा चालू दवरला हांव सगळ्यां कडेन मागतां की आयचो दीस हो ताका याद करपाचो दीस आनी फ्रांसीस लुईस गॉमेजान जें स्वप्न पळयलें गोंय राज्य एक बरें राज्य जावचें ताच्या खातीर तो वावुरलो स्वातंत्र्या खातीर ताणें काम केलें म्हणजे तेज्यान सुसेगाद वचून रावपाक जातालें थंय पार्लमेंटाक पूण तें केलें ना थंय वचून गोंयच्या खातीर स्वातंत्र्या खातीर आवाज उठोवप कितलें धाडस तें फक्त फ्रांसीस लुईस बाबूच करपाक शकता हें आमी सगळ्यांक लक्षांत दवरपाक जाय आनी आज आमी तांकां उद्रास करता आसतना ताका आदरांजली व्हरता आनी हांव सगळ्यां कडेन तुमकां मागतां की ताणें जें कितें विचार ताणें आपले मांडिल्ले आपल्या पुस्तकांतल्यान ताणें जे विचार व्यक्त केल्या ताणें खूब पुस्तकांय बरयल्यां ते विचार ताच्या आचरणात हाडपा खातीर आमी सगळ्यांनी प्रयत्न करप ही ताका खरी आदरांजली आसतली अशें हांव मागतां. देव बरें करूं.
Today very much proud because if you think deeply, today is a red letter day for me, at least personally. I am not Navelim, but over the period of time of my stay here as a parish priest in this place for the past 4 years, I have imbibed the qualities of this man. I am trying to visualize, and this man, Dr. Francisco Luis Gomes, is setting me an inspiration to build this place, to build my life personally, and to build this place. He lived for only 40 years. I have crossed the age, but he achieved so much. He was a statesman, he was a parliamentarian, he was an economist, he was a historian, he was a politician, he was a scientist, a multifaceted personality. My dear brothers and sisters, we have come to honor his birthday, a very mighty king. Because today, we all Navelim are proud of him because he's the pride of Navelim. In another 4 years' time, we will be celebrating 200 years of his birth. In 2029, 200 years. But still, he's becomes a source of inspiration for the next generations to come. I'm very proud today also to say that our Goan state has been declared as 100% literacy. We thank the government and we in fact congratulate the government for this great achievement. But that's not enough. We need to scale up in producing statesmen like Dr. Francis Luis Gomes. We need to move on to those tribes, those people who think critically. Just because we are able to read and write doesn't make us. But we need to move on to statesmen like this, where we are building the happiness quotient of the people. That should be our desire. And my vision for this place is to see that I bring up, I culture, I motivate to become people in this school, in this educational institution, people like Dr. Francis Luis Gomes. Otherwise, I feel that I've failed as a manager of the schools if I don't sow the seed in the hearts of this young generation to become a statesman like this. Where I show them that this person is a source of inspiration to all of us and to the coming generation. Only it's when we develop and we produce statesmen like this, we have the right for this celebration. My appeal to the government of Goa today, as long as I am here, I will still appeal. I look at this house, is in shambles. Whatever the history, it would be nice if the government of Goa takes the leadership, and whatever the problems are sorted out and rebuild this house and make it a museum in Navelim, where a lot of his life is shown to the next coming generation because he is the pride of Navelim. I thank the collectorate office, the student, and all who are gathered here in a very special way for coming for this celebration. And the main motivating factor is Mr. Luigino Ferrero for giving this inspiration to move forward, to carry forward his ideology. And let's vouch today that we will not just come for celebration now and the 30th again, and then again they're going to make 30th. No, let's do something in his memory which will perpetuate in our schools. As I already said, and I already did in this coming year, I said that in our school, the history books in my school at least should give one chapter, or teachers should teach something about him in our school, about his life, his works, his statements in our schools, and then perpetuate his memory. So I thank you and God bless you.
आजच्या दिसाक 40 वर्सां आमी नावेली अस्मिताय भूमी जुई डॉक्टर फ्रांसिस लुइस गोमेसाक आर्गां पडपाक फुलां घातलें. हिंगा चिल्ड्रन्स पार्क हाची उक्तावणी केली आनी ही उक्तावणी केल्ली 40 वर्सां आदीं then governor of Goa, Dr. Goan. तेच बरोबर आमचो आर्टिफिशियल रॉक सर्विस आणि डॉक्टर फ्रांसिस गोमेस लायब्ररी कॉम्प्लेक्साक बुन्यादीचो फालो करता. कित्याक आयचो दीस गोंयकार जे आख्खे जगांत आहा ते एमिनंट गोवन्स डे म्हणून मानतात. कित्याक आयच्या दिसाक तीन महाव्यक्ती डॉक्टर फ्रांसिस गोमेस हाचो जल्माचो दीस, आबे फर्गिया हांचो जल्माचो दीस, आनी तेच बरोबर डॉक्टर दाऊजी लाड अनदर एमिनंट गोवन हाचो मरणाचो दीस. आनी देखून आयचो दीस आमी एमिनंट गोवन्स डे म्हणून आख्या संवसारांत जुनी गोंयकार आहा तिका मनयतात. तेन्ना फुडें आमी गोंयांत विसरता आसता गोंयकार जे आख्या जगांत आहा तेन्ना विसरना. आता जायते लोक विचारता हो करून हिंगा कांय लोक भायले चड महत्वाची आमची सुकुरली भुरगीं आहा कुळागराचे नागरीक. डॉक्टर फ्रांसिस गोमेस कोण? डॉक्टर फ्रांसिस गोमेस हो पयलो देशाचो स्वातंत्र्य सैनीक who propounded the national concept of India, freedom and liberty 35 years before the Indian National Congress was born. He was a great genius. He was known as the prince of intellectuals. He was a great patriot. He was eloquent parliamentarian. He was eminent economist. He was a learned historian. And he was also a brilliant novelist. He had a dream. All of us must have our dreams. But he had a lofty dream to make his beloved Goa beautiful and strong. He reposed an unshakable faith in her destiny, and his ailing health took him away at a very young age of 40 years. Dr. Francis Gomes Uttara आजून कानान आमच्या वाचता. When he said he was very proud not only of Navelim, he was very proud of his country, India. तो गोंयचो एक सुपुत्र, नावेलीचो महान पुत्र, पूण तो आमच्या देशाचो स्वातंत्र्य सैनीक जालो. ताचे उपरांत I was born in the East Indies, once the cradle of poetry, philosophy and history, and now in stone. He further said, I belong to the race which invented chess and Mahabharata, the two works of sublimate eternity. But that nightingale which once rented the heavens is fluttering his wings against the cage which is holding captive. I ask for my country life and liberty. This is said in the European Parliament. He was also a member of Parliament. He always fought for the rights of the colonies. I'm going to push water. We have got his beautiful statue, not only in Navelim. It was inaugurated by Honorable Chief Minister. His statue is there in Penmore. मुझे एक स्वप्न आले या नावेलच्या गावान, या नावेलच्या सुपुत्राच्या नावान, डॉक्टर फ्रांसिस गोमेसच्या नावान लायब्ररी बांदता. That foundation stone was put on 31st May 1986. Today we are proud, especially I am telling the children, we have got not only a library of state level, but we have got a library of national level here. please make use of it. कसलें काम करतो तर पयशा लागून एक काम फाटून एक काम फाटून हे जे लोक आहा जेणे चीड दवरली की तुजे पर्यंत दाखोवन येवपाक जायना मागीर तुका विचारतो Dr. Francis Gomes to West Europe. I said he was born nearly 200 years back. He is a great son of Goa, great son of India. And what we are doing, we are honoring him. या नावेलच्या गावात Dr. Francis Gomes जे सुपूर्द जल्म आयलो हे आमचे बाग आहे. हे देशाचे बाग आहे. आणि देखून आयज दिसाक जेन्ना आमी ताका आर्गांव आसता हांव आभार मानता. पयले सुवातेर आमचो मंत्री म्हजो इश्ट सुभाष फळदेसाय आज सांगेसून आयला एज अ चीफ गेस्ट. But I appreciate and admire you came dot in time. That has set a good example for the school children. आज हम जो बड़े मुद्दा हमसे मुख्यमंत्री दुर्गाराना I have invited him. He's got some other things, but he has always supported us. He traveled all the way to Delhi to see that the 10 crores come over here, and then the Union Minister said, besides the 10 crores, there's the shortage. We will give you the money. Now, once how money is not spent, how many will give more money? So I hope you will be coordinate with the officials. And we will, I know that the collector must be watching us. She is the young lady, and very dynamic lady, Ms. Agnes Peters. I hope you will transfer very fast so that you want her to help us before she is transferred over here to the very advanced officer transfer. I would like to thank Father Gabriel, who always helps us. I would like especially to thank the Navelim Sarpanch, Deputy Sarpanch, Zilla member and Panchayat members. For the first time, the Navelim Panchayat has supported this cause. Otherwise, the earlier Panchayats were very, very impersonal. Therefore, I had to shift the Francis Gomes library. I had to buy another land. I had to construct there. But I am happy. It's one of the best libraries in India. But I thank the Panchayat, and I request the Panchayat to further support us and help us. I just start Collector South Goa. We are grateful. We have done a wonderful job. The advance monsoons is not our fault and your fault. And we have taken all the things. Last year we had a parade, police, fire brigade. We had a police band, fire brigade band, we had a salute of the police, but this year we did not organize it over here. I'm so sorry, but I can tell you 30th September happened to be that anniversary, and government is also organizing a special function on the occasion of that anniversary, so we will organize a great pomp and show on that day. I would like to thank all the schools who have sent the different singing groups over here. They have brought additional color, additional music, and additional enthusiasm among the crowd. I thank all the schools who have sent their students. Perhaps last year we had much bigger crowd. I hope that yes, September will be able to accommodate bigger crowd outside. Once again, I thank the freedom fighters, President of Dallasai, all others who have made it possible today for this beautiful small march. Thank you.
It gives me immense pleasure and pride, a deep sense of reverence to stand before you today on this solemn and significant occasion, the birth anniversary of one of most remarkable and visionary, a statesman and a son of Goa, Dr. Francisco Luis Gomes. And this opportunity, Makai Sotri Dilyasa, Luis Dejba Falero, Amche, Dr. Goenche, Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister of Goa, Sri Dr. Pramod Sawant, who has deployed me for carrying out the duties of the state. Today we do not merely remember a man, we remember a soul who transcended this time, a doctor by profession, a economics, a historian, novelist, a political thinker, and a great philosopher, and above all, a true patriot and statesman. His life is a shining example of how a person rooted in his land can leave a mark on the world. This great personality became born on this day, 21st May 1829, in the quiet village of Navelim. Dr. Francisco Gomes belonged to a generation that faced intense contradictions of colonial rule. Yet from humble beginnings, he rose to become a global figure, fluent in Konkani, Portuguese, English, French, Latin, and diverse with the medical practitioner, economics, philosopher, and a law. Even as a young man, he exhibited a burning curiosity and desire and a deep compassion for people around him. He earned a degree in medicine, but never confined himself to a single profession. His mind was broad, and even his heart is broader than that. At the age of 32, Dr. Francisco Gomes was elected to the Portuguese Parliament, where he served from 1861 until his untimely death 1869. As Goa's representative in Lisbon, he became the voice of the masses, tirelessly raising issues that affected the people of his motherland, Goa. He argued passionately for civil liberties, educational reforms, economic development, and justice for Goans. He was one of the earliest Indian leaders who talked about the rights of colonized people, not just Goa, but across India. He stood in a foreign land and spoke with courage and conviction about India's need for self-respect, self-governance, and economic independence. Long before the freedom struggle had gained momentum, this legendary person raised the issues of the Goans in their parliament. He wrote, and I quote, "I belong to that race which composed the Mahabharata and invented chess. But this nation which made course of its poems and formulated politics in a game is no longer alive. It survives imprisoned in its own country." The above quote highlights the burning passion for India and freedom and shows his bravery speaking in that parliament against this colonial rule input. Dr. Gomes was not just a politician, he was a brilliant economist who understood that true freedom cannot come without economic justice. He critiqued colonial exploitation and feudal system that kept people of Goa and India in poverty under the foreign rule. Dr. Gomes was not, he championed free trade, land reforms, and education for all. He was a fierce abolitionist, advocating for the end of slavery and caste discrimination. At a time when many remained silent, Dr. Gomes spoke truth to power, advocating for equality, dignity, and fairness to all. He foresaw the need of India to industrialize, to educate masses, and to break the chain of dependency. His economic theories were deeply rooted in human dignity and ethical responsibility, sometimes that remains relevant even in today's global economy. In addition to his political and economic contribution, Dr. Francisco Gomes had left behind a literary legacy that still holds a value today. His landmark novel, Os Brahmins, published in 1866, was the first Indo-Portuguese novel. It combined literature with nationalism and explored the themes of caste injustice, colonialism, and Indian identity. Though his work, Dr. Gomes introduced readers to complex and often misunderstood realities of Indian society, while also uplifting Indian culture and value. Dear friends, we often say that the Goa is a land of thinkers, artists, and revolutionaries. Dr. Francisco Luis Gomes was all three. His ideas were ahead of this time and even relevant today, that they can guide us in our pursuit of just, inclusive, and developed society. His commitment to education, justice, and ethics offer powerful reminders that true development must include the soul of people, their culture, their identity, and their sense of purpose. Louis Gomes have left this world 1869 at the young age of 40, but his ideas, his courage, his commitment, and his love for Goa continue to inspire us, motivate us even today. He taught us that it is not a number of years that we live that does not matter, but the depth of thought, the strength of purpose, and the impact we leave behind. It is therefore, I would request now the Honorable Chief Minister to inspect his old house where he resided and it is in a bad shape. We would like to take up this. I being a minister for archives and archaeology, I would like to take this advantage and inspect the old house and try to restore, not only restoring the past glory, but we need to restore all that he had done for his motherland and inspire all this new generation to take up all his good things in our minds and in our heart. Let us carry out for his legacy by standing for truth, promoting education, preserving our heritage, and working for Goa that just, inclusive, and culturally vibrant. I congratulate the person here, the ex-chief minister, who was a strong believer and follower of Dr. Luis Gomes, Francisco Luis Gomes, and he had started this movement, I think, the last 50 years to 40 years. 40 years before, he had made an attempt to give his respect and a place for, again, gathering. And we should celebrate this. In order to do this, he has made a good library. I think we have around 5,000 to 6,000 students who are studying here. And this is a great opportunity. We will put forth all the freedom struggle movement and the books written on freedom fighters and freedom struggle. We must keep a museum or a library for all these students for their references. And I would also like to propose to University, Goa University, to carry out the studies and get the researchers, historians to study the legacy that was left behind by Father Dr. Luis Gomes, and to go properly and give justice to his work. आमच्या खातीरच म्हणटा आयज आमी सगळे जमले आसात. We need to gather again and again because he is a great person and his passion, his vision should come to us in a true sense. So it's because of that आमचे वेचणीक बाब फालेवर जे एफर्ट्स घालतात तांकां जस्टीस मेळपाक जाय आनी तांणी केल्लें कार्य मुखारी व्हरपाक जाय. त्या खातीर we need to prepare our youngsters to take and shoulder the responsibilities what all is being carried out by Luis Falero and ताच्या ट्रस्टान केल्ली सगळी जबाबदारी आमी घेवपाक जाय. So without taking much time, I think आयज आमच्या मडगांव लोहिया मैदानाच्या फाटल्यान डॉक्टर फ्रांसिस्को लुईस गोम्स हांचो एक स्टॅच्यू आसा आणि आमचे सगळे मडगांवचे काउन्सिलर तांकां ट्रिब्यूट थींग दिल्लेच आसा आनी ताच्या फाटल्यान वयर जाल्लो आसा. आमकां जाय की ह्या आमच्या सुपुत्राचो मान सन्मान अजून वयर वाडोवपाक आनी ज्या रितीन आमी बर्थ एनिवर्सरी आनी ताची डेथ एनिवर्सरी करतात. These are not the only 2 days that we must celebrate. We need to आमच्या आंगान भितर त्याचे गुण घेवपाक जाय, आचरणात हाडपाक जाय आनी तो ताणो लढो दिल्लो आमच्या देशाच्या खातीर, आमच्या गोंयच्या खातीर, तो आमी फुडें व्हरपाक जाय. On this occasion, once again, I am grateful to all those people who have gathered here. You are fortunate to have glimpses of these visionary leaders. Such a lifetime achievements किती आसा ते आमकां पळोवपाक मेळ्ळे. On this birth anniversary, let us rededicate ourselves to these values. Let us ensure that the name of Dr. Francisco Luis Gomes is not just remembered in history books, but lives on the actions that we take. Thank you. Dev Varendu, Jai Hind, Bharat Mata Ki Jai, Vande Mataram.
Asmitai Bhumi. It is worth 60-70 crores of rupees. It's not a small land, it's a big land. This land is with the Navelim Dr. Francisco Gomes Trust for the last 40 years. We had put a foundation stone for the library there 40 years back on the same day, 31st May. And we had inaugurated a children park which lasted for nearly 30 years. Only because of the statue, we removed that children's park. The children's park was used by others. Now this problem of flooding has come for the last 2 years. And the reason is, even though we have constructed a 2-meter deep gutter on the side of the Dr. Francisco Gomes Trust, the water is getting clogged opposite Joking Gracious House on the National Highway. So if the engineer of the National Highway removes that mud for around 200 meters, this water will disappear overnight. So I have requested this. The collector will not know because she is new. She came 2 times at the site yesterday, I think earlier also. So that assistant engineer of National Highway has to be told in very strong terms, please remove it, because earlier there was no flooding. You all are coming there for everything, Navelim feast, fair, everything is taking place there. The major functions are taking place there for the last 40 years. So there should be a
पावसाचो सीजन आसा आणि फेरीज एज युजल आमच्या पावसाक आमी एक विशेष असो हें घेतात, काळजी घेतात की ताजेर कितें कितें आसपाक जाय, हाव ड्रिफ्ट जाता, सायक्लोनीक विंड्स आसतात त्या वेळार. दीज आर द युजल थिंग्स दॅट वी नॉर्मली आमचे जे डायरेक्टर आसात ते सगळ्यांक आपयतात कितें प्रिकॉशन्स घेवपाक जाय ते आमी करतात. बट इन एडिशन टू दॅट आमी कितें करतात, हळू आमच्यो नव्यो आमी जे पळय कन्वेन्शनल फेरीज आसा, वी आर ट्रायंग टू शिफ्ट ओवर फ्रॉम कन्वेन्शनल टू अ मॉडर्न फेरीज which will not have this problem. आता पयर तुमी एक पळयलो की दुकोड येवपाक लागलो फेरीच्यान, तो रॅम्पाचेर आसतना पॅसेंजर आसतना न्ही जाल्यार कितें सायक्लोनीक विंड जालें आनी ती ड्रिफ्ट जावपाक लागली. जो कॅप्टन आसा ताणें ती सांबाळपा खातीर जो इंजिनाचेर फोर्स घालो की ताका परत रेसींग करून ती होल्ड करपा खातीर, तेन्ना ताच्या सकयल जे पळय सायलन्सराक आसा ती कितें मटिरियल आशिल्लें ताचो दुकोड जालो. प्रॉब्लम तसो कांय नाशिल्लो, पण हें नाशिल्लें. बट दीस कायंड ऑफ थिंग्स हे फियर आनी एंग्जायटी जावपाक जायना की वेदर आय एम सेफ ऑर आय एम अनसेफ. देर इज नो सच इन्सिडंट वीच हॅज हॅपन्ड लास्ट फ्यू इयर्स वीच मेक द पॅसेंजर्स तांकां भंय दिसपा सारकी गजाल ना. आतां रोरो फेरीज आसा पळय न्ही त्यो आमी एक नवी एक हें केल्लें आसा, अ ब्युटिफुली बिल्ड रोरो फेरीज. आनी आमचो तो विजय मरायन म्हणून ताणें त्यो बांदलेल्यो आसात आनी गोवन एंटरप्रेन्युअर. आनी इफ यू लूक एट इट, रोरो फेरीज इज अ गूड एग्जाम्पल दॅट आमचे जे गोवा वॉटर आसा कॅन बी यूज फॉर अ ह्यूज रेवेन्यू कलेक्शन आमच्या टुरिजमांतल्यान जावपाक शकता. वॉटर टुरिजम, वॉटर टॅक्सी किंवा वॉटर मेट्रोज आर दी कॉन्सेप्ट्स पेंडींग. And when we explore and when we see the capabilities of Roro ferries, new things will come up in our mind, and we will use our Goa's river water turning into a very potential revenue generations for the tourism department. आता जो रोरो फेरीज हाडले आसा that will replace 2 रोरो फेरीज will replace 6 conventional फेरीज. आता आमी जे पळय घालतात रिबंदर टू चोडन मार्गाचेर 6 फेरीज आसात. ह्यो 6 फेरी काडून आमी 2च रोरो फेरी घालतले. ही रोरो फेरीज आसा पळय न्ही, इट इज कॅरिंग कॅपेसिटी इज 16 4 व्हिलर्स प्लस 40 2 व्हिलर्स अँड 150 पॅसेंजर्स. आणि इट इज अ डबल वे, फर्स्ट कम फर्स्ट आउट. म्हणजे ताका टर्न मारपाचे, फेरी टर्न घेना, दोनी वटच्यान इंजीन आसा. ह्या सायडीन लागली सुटली त्या सायडीन गेली, ती टर्न ना. पॅसेंजराक टर्न मारून भायर काडपा खातीर कांयच ना. जी गाडी मुखार वता ती वचून फ्रंट रावता. ओन्ली 3 minutes आर रिक्वायर्ड. ती फेरी आमच्या सगळीं वाहनां 16 40 150 पॅसेंजराक 3 मिनटां भितर भायर घालपाक मेळटा, 3 मिनटां भितर घेवपाक मेळटा. ट्रॅवल टायम इज जस्ट 8 minutes फॉर दॅट. यू नो, जेन्ना खंयचोच पॅसेंजर 10-15 मिनटाच्या वयर खंयच उरचो ना. मॅक्सिमम इज 12 to 15 minutes. सो दीस इज अ कायंड ऑफ न्यू टॅक्नॉलॉजी दॅट वी हॅव यूज. कांय वेळार आमी जर्मन ताजे एक्सेसरीज स्पेअर्स आसा ते हाडल्यात. अँड दीस वील नॉट कॉस्ट गोवाज तुगेलें, कारण गोंयचे आमकां फायनान्शियल बर्डन कांय ना. आमी बिल्ड ऑपरेटाचेर ती दिल्ली आसा. जो फेरी घालतलो तो सगळें मॅनेज करतलो. बिल्टूय ताणें केल्लें आसा, आमचो 1 रुपया नासतना. तो मेंटेनन्सूय तो करतलो, बाकीचें सगळें. आमी फक्त आसतले ती टिकेट घेवपा खातीर आनी तो रेवेन्यू जनरेट जाता तो आमी ताका दिवपाचो. ह्या सिस्टमाचेर आमी केल्लें आसा. दिस इज अ गुड रेवेन्यू मॉडेल दॅट वी हॅव फॉलोड. अँड आय होप अँड प्रे दॅट दिस कायंड ऑफ फेरीज इफ यू युटिलायज फॉर tourism purpose or a metro, water metro or a water taxi, it would generate a huge revenue for government. Definitely we will see the success of these ferries. But why? Because these ferries are brought for passengers. And on the same line, I would discuss this with tourism and tourism minister and honorable chief minister to carry on with this kind of ferries would be deployed for tourist movement. When we are introducing new ro-ro ferries, so ferries extra मेळटल्यो. Every year we are getting 2 new ferries with new technology, double engine हातून भितर घेता आमी, कळ्ळें न्ही. एवरी इयर वी गेट. ते आमी एक ल्हानसो प्रयत्न केल्लो. आमच्यो ज्यो फायली वतात फायनान्साक, दे से दॅट आवर expenditure is around 76 crores. Our income for full season is 52 lakhs. Not even 1% we are generating income. आणि जेन्ना हांवें 5 रुपया दिसाक 5 रुपया स्कुटरीचेर लावपाचो नोटिफिकेशन काडलें, दिसाक 5 रुपया येवपा वचपाक 5 फावटी 5 फावटी यो तरी आसतना 5 रुपयाचो पास काडपाचो. देर वॉज अ ह्यूज protest against it. Then the honorable chief minister had to withdraw it. If we are not generating income and if people feel that we should not charge them, then they'll have to suffer for waiting urtale sare kartale. With a small amount of 5 rupees, if you get a better services, पण जाता कितें, गोवा ल्हान आसा, आंदोलन केल्या नंतर एक लिडर मुखार येता आणि ही बिकम्स अ कॉन्टेंडंट फॉर दी असेंब्ली आणि सगळे लोक हाजे खातीर जातात. सो इवन आय एम टेलिंग टुडे, आमी जर नवे income resources केले जर जाय जाल्यार we will have the best of the services. Because as of today, whatever proposal that we put up before the finance department, they calculate and they say that you are not earning to the extent of 1% that we spend on ferries.
As a concerned minister, revenue generation.
At least for ferry, ro-ro ferries, I will introduce it because it is a huge cost and we have to repay monthly charges for that and we have to generate it.
Okay.